What is going on, guys? Back with another video. Emergency update, guys. Obviously, we've had some red over the past 24 hours, and the lower you come down the market cap value, you're going to see bigger discounts, guys. Utility plays, meme coins, nothing is really being spared from this sell-off. But today, guys, we are going to cover two meme coins which have had massive hype, which are having a bit of a struggle lately. We've seen a decent sell-off with Dowge, DGI 6930, and we have seen a pretty big sell-off with Momo, which is currently only $4.5 million in market cap, right? So we're just going to have a look, guys, update on the two of these projects. We're going to see, what's going on. We're going to see the sentiment, and we're going to really see if the momentum can pick up, right? Because obviously, when you see red, when you have red days, people who are scared are, really going to be fearful, and then others who potentially see an opportunity are going to DCA into any dip. So come over to the holders. To be fair, guys, the holders is pretty well. It's holding up pretty well, close to 16,000 holders. So it hasn't really, nothing's really changed in that regard. Obviously, you've had some, big whales who have been some decent whales who've been buying over the past few days on the red, but you've also had some whales who have been selling pretty aggressively, right? So you've got these two wallets here who have been selling pretty close, close together in terms of the sales. And then obviously you've had other people who have been buying, but there's a few wallets which have obviously had an impact on the chart. But ultimately, as I've said, guys, the holders is still holding up pretty well. In terms of updates, in terms of the X, team, whoever's running the X, are still pretty active. You come over to the Trinites page, they are still posting, and they're still trying to keep the momentum going, right? And this is what's important when it comes to a community cult-based meme coin. You want to see the strength even on the red days, right? Because 90% of people, guys, are only here for the green days. Now, what's going to happen in the future, whether or not this is going to have a further sell-off, nobody really knows. You can see here, it's also been trending in regards to whale buys over the last 24 hours. And obviously, guys, hopefully this can have a recovery, right? Because as I've said before, the massive hype, the massive momentum this brought to the market is insane. As I've said before in previous videos, what we saw with Dowge, DJI 6930, the amount of retail, the amount of new investors that came flooding into this market was absolutely insane. And, it would be a shame to see a further drop, right? But at 15 million, it's come down, as I said, around 82% from all-time highs. And, ultimately, could this be a good buy, right? We're going to come over to Momo, guys. Again, this is massively oversold, in my opinion. 4.5 million in market cap. And again, the holders has held up pretty well. Very close to 10,000 holders. Similar to Dowd, we've had some dolphins, we've had some whales who have been selling off. And this guy here, whoever this is, who has been selling off pretty aggressive over the past 24 hours. You can see here, he has sold off a massive amount. And obviously, with the project being, so small, it's going to have considerable effect on the overall market cap. So as you can see, some pretty big sell-offs, but you've also had some, whales who have been accumulating across the dip. But yeah, as I've said, it's never good to see, big whales selling off. But obviously, you've also got the community who are continuing to, DCA into this, who obviously believe in the long-term vision of the project, guys. When it comes to fundamentals, Momo, female Shiba, the people's dog coin, bonk sister, guys, it has that narrative, right? And with such a small market cap, I think risk to reward could potentially be on your side, guys. Of course, not financial advice. Again, these are meme coins, guys. Anything can happen. This can have a further dump. It could dump another 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%. You have to be prepared for anything, right? But the fact is, it is tiny in market cap, guys. 4 million market cap is insane, right? Community is still strong. You've still got good engagement. You've got here, they're posting, if you believe in Momo all-time high, just DCA, jackpot imminent. So they're still here. They're still posting. Obviously, naturally, guys, you're going to have people who are fearful. You come over to coin market cap, and you're going to see people who are saying rug pull. People who are saying, is this finished? And, overall, there's obviously going to be mixed sentiment. Now, what's good with Momo, guys, it does have decent centralized exchange listings. It does have that Mexi listing. And that is one thing that I think we do need with Dowge, right? That is a concern that obviously a few people are having. And Dowge is getting a little bit more fear, a little bit more FUD than Momo currently. You've got people who are saying it's finished, momentum is gone. Other people saying, bullish Q4, and then other people who are really calling for more listings, which I do agree with. I do think more listings, more centralized exchange listings is needed. But yeah, hopefully we can see a comeback, guys, because as I've said before, right, Dowge and Momo, these two projects, these two meme coins have brought in massive hype, massive momentum into the meme coin sector, right? And Momo at 4.5 million, guys, it is insane, right? Obviously, you still got some big holders, big people who are still holding this and who could potentially sell off some more. But ultimately, obviously, you have some clusters on bubble maps as well. But ultimately, guys, this is so cheap, right? It's 4.5 million market cap. It's not a 40 million market cap. It's not a 400 million market cap. And for Dowge, it's 15 million. Obviously, you've still got some big people who are into this. Also, some decent sized clusters on this as well. Some whales who still hold a big amount. So it's going to be interesting to see, guys. But in terms of the fundamentals, in terms of the use case, nothing's changed in my opinion, right? Regardless if it's red, regardless if it's green, you think of your utility plays, your layer ones, your RWA, AI gaming, especially gaming, for example. Just because it's in the red, nothing's changed in terms of the fundamentals of the project. Obviously, memes are different because the memes don't actually have that utility. Obviously, with Dowge, their goal is to flip the Dow Jones, and that is why I still believe this has big potential, guys, right? I'm not saying there could be, there could be further drops, could be further sell-offs, guys, but I do think these two meme coins, they have, really shown their strength in terms of onboarding massive holders, right? Massive new holders, massive retail. So time will tell, guys. Quick update on Dowge and Momo. Let me know your thoughts. Are you buying the dip or are you selling, right? And it's never wise to sell the red, but ultimately, guys, you have to make your own mind up and have your own conviction. Yeah. So quick update on Dowge and Momo, guys. This is going to be interesting to see just how well they hold up, because what really matters is on the red days, how the holders, how the community come together and potentially get these projects back to where they belong. So quick update on Dowge and Momo, guys. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon for the next video.